DH asked the question, so what's going on now? RB, people better pay close attention over the next few months. First, there won't be any meaningful deal about the fiscal crisis. This is planned. I mean, the lack of a deal is planned. In fact, it is necessary to pave the way for what is in the short-term agenda. DH, wait, you're DSH, not some Wall Street insider. Rosebud responds, so you think they are separate agendas? That's funny. The coming collapse of the U.S. dollar is a done deal. It's been in the works for years, decades, and this is one of the most important cataclysmic events that the DHS is preparing for. I almost think that the DHS was created for that purpose alone, to fight Americans, not protect them, right here in America. But that's not the only reason. There is the gun issue, too. DH, so what are you seeing at the DHS? RB responds, we don't have a lot of time tonight. Our meeting, as well as a country. I mean, I have heard with my own ears plans being made that originate from the White House that involve the hierarchy of the DHS. You got to know how the DHS works at its highest of levels. It's Jarrett and Napolitano. With Jarrett organizing all of the plans and approaches, she's the one in charge, at least from my point of view. From what I am seeing, Obama knows that's going on and has say, but it seems that Jarrett has the final say, not the other way around. It's screwed up. This really went into high gear since the election. But it's a train wreck at mid-management, but it's more effective at lower levels. A lot of police departments are being gifted with federal funds with strings attached. That money is flowing out to municipal police departments faster than can be counted. They are using the money to buy tanks, well, not real tanks, but you know what I mean. DHS is turning the police into soldiers. By the way, there have been a lot of communication recently between Napolitano and Pistoli, TSA head. They are planning to use TSA agents in tandem with local police for certain operations that are being planned right now. This is so important that you cannot even begin to imagine. If you get nothing else out of this, please make sure you tell people to watch the TSA and their increasing involvement against the American public. They are the stooges who will be the ones to carry out certain plans when the dollar collapses and the gun confiscation begins. DH, whoa, wait a minute. You just said a mouthful. What's the agenda here? RB, your intelligence insider, he knows that we are facing a planned economic collapse. You wrote about this in your articles about Benghazi, or at least that's what I got out of the later articles, so why the surprise? DH, there's a lot here. Let's take it step by step if you don't mind. RB responds, okay, but I'm not going to give it to you in baby steps, big boy steps. This is what I'm hearing. Life of the average American is going to change significantly, and not the change people expect. First, DHS is preparing to work with police departments and the TSA to respond to civil uprisings that will begin when there is a financial panic. And there will be one, maybe as early as this spring, when the dollar won't get you a gumball. I'm not sure what the catalyst will be, but I've heard rumblings about a derivitives crisis as well as an oil embargo. I don't know. That's not my department. But something is going to happen to collapse the dollar, which has been in the works since the 1990s. Now, if it does not happen as soon as this, it's because there are people, real patriots, who are working to prevent this. So it's a fluid dynamic, but that doesn't change the preparation. And the preparations are these. DHS is pre-positioning the assets in strategic areas near urban centers all across the country. Storage depots, armories, and even detainment facilities known as FEMA camps. FEMA does not even know that the facilities are earmarked for detainment by executive order, at least not in the traditional sense they were intended. By the way, people drive by some of these armories every single day without ever giving them a second look. Commercial and business real estate across the country are being bought up or leased for storage purposes, very low profile. Also, there's another advantage to that. Low-level people have a tendency to talk. If they don't know what's going on, they are not talking. My addition. Anyway, I'm hearing that the plan from on high is to let the chaos play out for a while, making ordinary citizens beg for troops to be deployed to restore order, but it's all organized to make them appear as good guys. When the real head-knocking will take place, we're talking about travel restrictions, which should not be a problem because gas will be rationed or unavailable. The TSA will be in charge of travel, or at least be a big part of it. They will be commissioned, upgraded for their current status. I mean Jarrett and Obama, as well as a few others in government, are working to create a perfect storm, too. This is being timed to coincide with the new gun laws. DH, new federal gun laws. RB, yes. Count on the criminalization to possess just about every gun you can think of. Not only restrictions, but actual criminalization of possessing a banned firearm. I heard this directly from the highest of my sources. Plans were made in the 90s, but were withheld. Now it's a new day, a new time, and they're riding the wave of the emotion from Sandy Hook, which, by the way, as tragic as it was, well, it stinks to high heaven. I mean, there are so many things wrong there, and first reports are fast disappearing. The narrative is being changed. Look, there is something wrong with Sandy Hook, but if you write it, you'll be called a kook or worse. RB goes on to say, but Sandy Hook, there's something very wrong there, but I'm hearing that won't be the final straw. There will be another if they think that it is necessary. DH, another shooting. RB responds, yes. DHM says that would mean that they are at least complicit. RB says, well, that's one way of looking at it. Question from DH, are they? Were they? RB, do your own research. Nothing I say, short of bringing you photographs and documents, will convince anyone, and even then, it's like, deleted, in the wind. RB goes on to say, so what I'm telling you is that the DHS and the TSA and certain but not all law enforcement agencies are going to be elbow deep in riot control in response to an economic incident. At the same time, or close to it, gun confiscation will start. It will start as a voluntary basis using federal registration forms, then an amnesty, then the kicking in the doors start. Now, keep in mind that this is December 27th, 2012. What did New York do? They banned a whole list of assault weapons, magazines, so on and so forth. They gave you an amnesty period to turn it in. This is what I'm saying to you. Pay close attention to what this man is saying, because these things are unfolding exactly as he said. It's hard to predict the future if you're just using a crystal ball. If you know people on the inside, it's not hard to figure out. He continues, before or at the same time, you know, all the talk of the list, the red and blue list that everybody made fun of, well, they exist. Although I don't know about their colors, but there are lists of political dissidents maintained by DHS. Names are coordinated with the executive branch, but you know what? They did not start with Obama. They had been around in one form or another for years. The difference, though, is that today they are much more organized. And I'll tell you that the vocal opponents of the politics of the global elite, the bankers, the opponents of anything standing in their way, well, they are on top of the list of people to be handled. DH, handled? RB responds, as the situation worsens, some might be given a chance to stop their vocal opposition. Some will, others won't. I suppose they are on different lists. Others won't have that chance. By that time, though, it will be chaos and people will be in full defensive mode. They will be hungry, real hunger, like we've never experienced before. They will use hunger as leverage. They will use medical care as leverage. DH, will this happen all at once? RB responds, they hope to make it happen at the same time. Big cities first, with sections being set apart from the rest of the country. Then the rural areas. There are two different plans for geographical considerations, but it will all come together. DH, wait, this sounds way, way over the top. Are you telling me? RB interrupts, and there's some overtalk. Know who was selected or elected twice now. You know who his associates are, and you are saying this is way over the top? Don't forget what Ayers said. You talk to Larry Grothwall. This guy is revolutionary. He does not want to transform our country in the traditional sense. He will destroy it. And he's not working alone. He's not working for himself either. He has his handlers, so don't think this is going to be a walk in the park. With some type of attempt to rescue the country, Cloward, Piven, Alinsky, Marx, all rolled into one, and he won't need the rest of his 4 years to do it.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
All right, continuing with Canada Free Press, Mr. Doug Hagman's interview with the DHS Insider. And I'll reiterate here at the bottom of this hour, I normally do not take third-party stuff. But this is not my contact. This is somebody else's. But the information seems to be spot on. Okay, let's continue here. As the... let me drop back. Oh, DH, I need you to be clear. Let's go back again. I mean to those who speak out against what is happening. Rosebud edited this, and he was obviously irritated. He says, how much clearer do you want it? The Second Amendment will be gone, along with the First, at least practically or operationally. The Constitution will be gone, suspended, or at least in an operational sense. Maybe they won't actually say that they are suspending it, but will do it. Like saying the sky is purple when it's actually blue. How many people will look at the sky and say, yeah, it's purple? They see what they want to see. So the DHS, working with other law enforcement organizations, especially the TSA, as it stands right now, will oversee the confiscation of assault weapons, which includes all semi-automatic weapons following a period of so-called amnesty. It will also include shotguns that hold multiple rounds or have pistol grips. They will go after the high-capacity magazines, anything over, say, 5 rounds. They will also go after the ammunition, especially at the manufacturer's level. They will require a special license for certain weapons and make it impossible to own anything more draconian than England. This is a global thing, too. Want to hunt? What gives you the right to hunt their animals? Sound strange? I hope so. But they believe they own the animals. Do you understand now how sick and twisted this is? Their mentality. The obvious intent is to disarm the American citizens. They will say that we will still be able to defend ourselves and go hunting, but even that will be severely regulated. This is the part that they are still working out, though. While the plans were made years ago, there is some argument over the exact details. I know that Napolitano, even her support of the agenda, would like to see this take place outside DH, but UN involvement would still require legislative approval. RB, yes, but you're still thinking normal in normal terms. Stop thinking about a normal situation. The country is divided, which is exactly where Obama wants us to be. We are as ideologically divided as we were during the Civil War, and the rift is growing every day. And in crisis, an economic crisis, where the ATM and the EBT cards will stop working, where bank accounts will contain nothing but air, they are anticipating a revolution and a civil war rolled into one. Imagine when talk show hosts or bloggers or some other malcontent gets on the air or starts writing about the injustice of it all and how Obama is the Antichrist or something. They will outlaw such talk or writing as inciting the situation. I think Janet Napolitano, my insert here, called it radicalization. They will make it illegal by saying that it is causing people to die. The Republicans will go along with everything as and we have, a one-party system. 2 parties is an illusion. It's all so surreal to talk about, but you see where this is headed, right? DH. Ask the question, well, what about the list? Rosebud, back to that again. Okay. Why do you think the NSA has surveillance of all communications? To identify and stop terrorism? Okay. To be fair, that is part of it, but not the main reason or the main mission. The federal agencies have identified people who present a danger to them and their agendas. I don't know if they are color-coded, like you mentioned, red,